All right, after leaving the summit of Earl's Peak, we did a little extra scrambling, trying to make it a little harder on ourselves when we didn't need to. Good morning. We're out here at the Beverly Turnpike Trail, Bean Creek Trail. We are going to attempt to climb up Earl and Bean Peak, hopefully take the ridge across between the two. Should be some pretty epic ridge lines today, so looking for some good views. We're just getting geared up and sunscreen on, and we're going to get out there. See you up there. All right, we just crossed Bean Creek and we are at the junction where left takes us to Bean Creek Basin and right takes us to Earl's Peak, which is the direction we are headed. Just steadily climbing up a bunch of switchbacks right now, but it's a pretty nice trail as a majority of it is in the shade, so can't complain about that.
Are just under 3 miles in and reached a junction with stand-up trail. Straight would take you towards Navajo Pass and Navajo Peak, and left is the way we're heading to climb Earl's Peak, which is up there.
just below the summit of Earl Peak. Not too bad getting up here. A little bit of loose rock, but it's nothing too crazy. And a beautiful day. The views are epic on this hike so far. Can't wait to see what else is in store. We are on the summit of Earl's Peak, 7,036 feet or so. Beautiful views here. We've got Mt Stuart right here off to my right, and then a swing around. We've got the backside of the Enchantments, Dragon Tail, Kolchak Peak. There's a register up here that Nikki's getting ready to sign for us. And we couldn't have asked for better weather with better views. We're gonna eventually head over to this ridgeline here and take that over to Bean Peak right there. That's our next objective. All right, after leaving the summit of Earl's Peak, we did a little extra scrambling, trying to make it a little harder on ourselves when we didn't need to. So we just backtracked a little and found a much easier path towards the ridgeline over to Bean. So this is much easier than scrambling up and over all the rock we were initially trying to do. All right, so that's looking back at Earl's Peak. You can choose to scramble across those rocks there if you want, but really if you come down this way, if you're down climbing, it'd be to your left. It's much easier. You don't have to do the scrambling if you don't want to. And that brings you over to here. As you can see, Nikki's kind of on a little bit of a climber's trail just down to the ridge there and over to Bean Peak. Summit of Earl up there at the middle of the screen, and we are making our way across this ridgeline. Not too bad, pretty easy scrambling thus far.
That is Earl's Peak there that you're looking at. We came down to meet this ridge and are just trekking along this ridge. There's Rainier. Somewhere up here is Bean Peak.
All right, we are just below Bean Peak. Made it across the ridge pretty easy, not too much difficult scrambling. It's not that bad at all. Nikki's making her way up. We're kind of at the junction here where it meets up with the trail that goes back down towards Bean Creek Basin. That may be it right down there. I'm not 100% sure. But that's the trail we will take after we climb Bean Peak to make our way back to the car.
I think we reached the scrambly bit, so I think I saw most people coming from like kind of through there. So we're just gonna kind of head that way. To the summit of Bean Peak. A little bit of scrambling there at the end to get up here.
We are off that pretty scrambly section of Bean, almost back to the trail junction to make our way back towards Bean Basin.
We made it down to Bean Creek Basin, and if you look behind me, you can see, so that's Mary's Point on the ridge, but that is Bean Peak where we just came down from. are just getting back to the trailhead. It was a really beautiful day. It's fantastic views up there. Definitely recommend this little loop. We'll put the stats on the bottom of the page. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to follow along on all future adventures.